Hello, 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 everyone. I'm your host of Hungry, Aaron Allegory. It is time for the podcast for creatives on the come up, by creatives on the come up. And I am here to introduce to you our lovely guest.
A young Dread the Prophet.
Our lovely guest, Young Dread the Prophet. He's styling and profiling, and he looks just straight from the source.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So just give everyone a little background on yourself.
Like you said, my name is Young Dread the Prophet. I'm a rap artist. I've been writing since like middle school, but I only put myself out after high school and everything. And ever since then, it's just been like that's all I be on now, just making my music and everything.
Isn't it crazy how like art feels like it's like when did you start? You're like my whole life. Like it's always been a part.
It's like it's always gonna be there and everything, but it's like when it comes to I can give a date to where like I actually start putting out for everyone to see, but it always felt like it was there. Whether it was like we were little kids freestyling at like the park or anything, or just like in the middle of science class trying to like write writtens on the back of my test just to get something out and everything.
Yeah, it's great. And I love that. It's always like that. It always starts like the lunchroom cafeteria,
Yeah.
people making the drums on the table, getting that classic kick snare. It's always like the fun time with the boys, or even
Yeah,
like
I feel that.
you freestyle in the car.
Oh, cool. Just literally on the drive here and everything like that, just putting beats on, just trying to like freestyle and everything. Just or when you really have a passion for it and everything, you're gonna want to get it in any type of way or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Like even in high school when we used to have vocabulary tests, I used to remember the words by literally making raps with each like vocabulary word just so I could like memorize it and everything. Cause the passion had to come through every type of way.
wow, you sound like Corday. He's like I learned how to talk. He said he would talk so fast that he couldn't like get it all out. So he rapped to slow himself down.
That's crazy. I didn't even know about that. That's nice. I like
Right.
that.
So on your creative journey so far, what's a struggle that you faced and how did you overcome it?
Um, I feel like the biggest struggle was probably just like I guess maybe just being less hard on myself. When I first started rapping, it was like I had this big grandiose idea in my head because I was always a good writer and everything. So I thought, okay, my flows are gonna be perfect, my bars are gonna be hitting every time, my voice gonna be greatest. As soon as I did my first track, it was horrible. I didn't know nothing about delivery, flow, or anything. So for a big part of my career, where it's like most of the years, like only right now I can start saying I'm actually confident in myself and everything. For a big part, just like my voice isn't hitting hard enough, my flow isn't tight enough. It was just always something. So like being able to like take a little bit less of like the pressure off myself was the only way I was able to actually like get to a point where I can even enjoy my own music and everything.
Yeah. Accepting your path and your position on it.
Listen, yeah, like
Oh.
that, like that.
Yeah. I literally have that. I used to write that on this whiteboard in my apartment
I like
just
that.
to keep myself grounded and keep myself humble.
I feel that.
It's easy, like, I don't know. Well, a lot of creatives, they got that ego where everyone wants to be the best or thinks that they should be farther ahead than they are. But you just know what is where you should be. How do you know what
I
that
feel
is?
that. It's always hard because like there's like two levels to it as a creative. I feel like on one hand you gotta be like you gotta bump yourself up. You gotta be like I believe in myself. I love what I do and everything. I'm good at what I do. But on the other hand, you also gotta be realistic where it's like I'm not gonna be at this level yet, but I can get there. Because if you just keep going with the same ego, you're not actually gonna get any better. You're only gonna stay at a stagnant level with all that.
Yeah, need that practical optimism.
That's the best way to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. What advice would you give your younger self since we're in the middle of this topic?
If anything, I just say like give myself some time to grow. Like I always thought that as soon as I hopped on the track and everything, it's always had to sound perfect, or else I was just garbage. It was either that good or bad, and there was no like in between. I feel like as artists, you gotta give yourself time to get better. It's okay if you're not at the level that you want to be at. You have to be able to give yourself the time to get there at the end and everything.
Yeah. I feel you. I go to school for international business and I have a minor in music production.
Mm.
So people always ask me, like, where's your music? When you putting it out? And I'm like, just wait. I have the minor. I'm going to learn how to create what I want to create. Just be patient. And it's like having that patience, even though other people want me to rush,
I feel that. Yeah,
you know?
I definitely feel that.
And it can be a struggle and it's needing to set those boundaries because other people always, they want you to be where they want you to be. But you gotta run your race.
Yeah, because, like, if I only go off of, like, what other people are going to say to me, it would literally drive me insane because it's always like, oh, why aren't you playing with this artist? Why aren't you on this level yet and everything? Especially if they got faith in you because they expect you to be at that top level. But end of the day, I need to take my time to get there. I can't rush into that, or else I'm only gonna be hurting myself in the long run.
Exactly. Now, it's hungry, so we got to talk about struggle. We got to talk about food. So, what is the worst struggle meal that you've ever had?
I want to say like it's the worst tasting thing, but my number one like idea was struggle meal in my head. When me and my mom were doing like a lot worse and everything, we didn't have like any money for like actual dinners and stuff like that. So for like a couple of months, we had to just eat like just Cheerios, like breakfast Cheerios, dinner Cheerios, because it was the easiest thing that we had and everything like that. We didn't even have like a working stove because like the place we were living at, the main landlord, he didn't want to take the time to fix it. So all we were eating basically just like breakfast foods. And so Cheerios were basically breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you want to get a little pizzazzy, have a little snack with it. Like that was just everything.
Yeah. Literally, I interviewed someone and they said the worst struggle meal they had was they had Rice Krispies and they put orange juice in it.
That's different.
Right?
That's real different.
I've heard water.
Yeah.
But orange juice just hit me out of left field.
See, I never really understood. I always hear like I had to eat my cereal with water. I'd actually eat it dry at that point.
Right?
I feel like that's just gonna like make me gag. I'm probably just gonna eat it dry and then drink water afterwards. But whatever got it down for you, just do that.
Some cereal I wouldn't recommend eating dry. Like, I don't know, the Frosted Mini Wheats, that'd be kind of rough.
Those are just blades in your mouth. That's not cereal.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. But yeah, some cereals. I can handle a Rice Krispie. I can handle a Rice Krispie down.
Yeah. Well, it's been great, having you on the podcast.
I appreciate you having me on here.
So this has been another episode of Hungry, the podcast for the creatives on the come up, by the creatives on the come up, and we hope to see you next time. Have a good day.